Hi everybody, Bobby Ogilvy, project manager and professional coach. I wanted to briefly touch on how I would frame actually the main target markets we deal with and help serve at Talent Edge. So particularly in terms of coaching, and that's really a big focus of my work. I'm dealing with different types of teams and leaders. So that essentially relates to the three different market segments I deal with, and those are leaders in transition, leaders of teams, and leaders of change. So we'll break that down just a bit. Leaders in transition has this tone around entrepreneurship. It could be leaders thrust a new situation and it's about them acclimatizing and making the best of it, or they need to rediscover their strengths. But it also tends to be a lot of early stage entrepreneurs or like solo entrepreneurs, which are trying to pull all the pieces together, and it's a question of what are their strengths, what strengths do they need around them, how they start to grow this thing. It also tends to have a subtext around sales and marketing because they often know the focus area of where they want to be, and it's this implementation of and how do I do that and how do I grow and generate sales around that. Okay, great. So that's leaders in transition. Secondly, leaders of teams. And this has probably the clearest link towards management, I would say. So that's really about the one-to-one relationship of managers to their team members, right? This also probably has the most operations-y type tone in terms of the operations and processes that they're using, the technology tools, the management systems, the whatever other habits of how you're handling your team, right? And it could be that you're an early stage, you're a first time manager and you're developing these skills, or it could be a bit more advanced that you're boning up on some new skills. You're trying to be more agile and more flexible in how you're making decisions. And you as the manager, particularly as you get on in management, becomes less about here's this structured rubric I need to teach you, and more about no, my professional team knows this stuff. My job really becomes this kind of team morale, training, engagement kind of management. You can see how then that naturally leads into the third category, which is leaders of change. And so this is the one-to-many relationship of the kind of upper, often C-level organizational leaders, right? And they need to be aware strategically, kind of context-wise, of what's going on around them, think what change they need to produce, and then, well, frig, how do I lead my organization of 20, 50, 500, 5,000 people towards this new thing? How's this going to shift our cultures? How would I measure this? It also has a tone of, as opposed to problem solving practices, what are the practices I want to put in place? How do I want to shift the habits of my organization, right? So that's leading leaders of change. So if you are one of these leaders in transition, leaders of teams, or leaders of change, I'd love to talk with you, get a sense of where you're currently at in terms of how you're approaching these problems and how we might be able to help you further. That's it. Bobby Ogilvy, project manager, professional coach. I will talk to you guys soon.